This is You're Probably Right. Entertainment first, everything else is just bonus. Opinions, all ours. Sometimes backed by research, but never the final word. There are always exceptions, so take it with a grain of salt and a slight dusting of chili powder.
How you doing? What are you really looking for in a life partner? That's the question we want to answer today. In a sense, stay with me. I want to ask you what might be one of the most important questions you'll ever answer. What are you really looking for in a life partner? Not what your parents told you should be looking for, not what social media tells you should be looking for, and not what your friends think you should be looking for. What are you actually looking for? Now, the reason why I came up with this, and trust me, it was painstaking. It took me a while to really get to where I wanted to go with this because there's the easy way people usually would bridge a topic like this, and that's not where we're going. I'm going in the way that I will be doing my best to try to help you figure this out for yourself because many of you who are here really don't know, and that's why some of you type this into a browser or, wherever because I thought it would be an easy thing. So I started ringing things off. Just realized that I kind of skipped over a part, which you'll understand soon. Just realizing for myself that it's really, really not that easy. And I also realized that most of us we don't write it down. Some people have a hope chest. Some people do have a diary. But do you really get to the nitty gritty? Or do you stay on the basics on the top, on the superficial side of things? Because I don't think most people have ever really answered that question. You know, some of us date, we fall in love, or maybe we just get infatuated or fall in lust. We get excited, we get attached, we get hurt, and we move on. Then we do it all over again, sometimes in a short span, and sometimes after 10 years, sometimes after 30. But very few of us ever stop and ask ourselves how we're actually deciding who is worth building a life with. Some people are looking for beauty, most guys. Some are looking for money, most girls. Some are looking for security. Some are looking for someone who makes them laugh, someone intelligence, someone kindness, someone ambition, someone shared faith, someone chemistry, someone peace, someone who wants children, someone who doesn't want children. Some care about education, some care about family, some care about physical attraction, some care about emotional maturity, some care that you're not emotional at all. Some care about humor, some care about financial responsibility, some care about generosity, some care about adventure, flights and trips on boats. Some care about stability. None of those are automatically wrong. The question is, though, and you realize how extensive this list can actually really be, and it is a lifelong question and answer type of thing where I think it's something that you should be concerned about and something that you should go in depth about for yourself, maybe your future children, or maybe the children you already have. You see, the question is, have you ever consciously decided which of those things matter the most? Have you put them in a depth chart, charge? Because if you haven't, right, then how can you possibly know whether you're choosing wisely? I think one of the biggest mistakes people make isn't choosing the wrong person. I think it's never deciding what they're actually looking for before they start choosing, before they start talking, right? That's with quotes, air quotes. You know, as I was saying, as I sat with this question, I realized I kept coming back to two, three, or well, yeah, I came up with three broad categories. And check it out, it's not a personality test. It's not a compatibility quiz. And I know that many of us have done these things, I've done them before. Just three simple ideas that I think almost everyone considers, whether they realize it or not. I'm going to get into it in a second. Guys, as you're listening to this podcast, I want you to understand that this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I don't profess to be a professor of anything except I am a professing Christian. And most of the things that I'll say will align with Christian values. Every once in a while, I do veer off into my own little world here, but that's where everything comes back to. So even if you took me to task on anything that I actually said, because it is for entertainment purposes only, I am kind of riffing. But if I were to actually have to sit down with it and you're asking me, Michael, my personal honest opinion about every last thing that I'm about to say, I would have to bring it back to what the Bible says about it. Okay. So hopefully that helps you understand where I come from. Okay. And also, please, guys, if you do value this entertainment, if you do value my podcast, if you do value me at all and you're here listening, then I would really appreciate if you would just click follow on whichever platform that you're listening from. It would help me out. I'm trying to make I'm trying to reach out farther, but if I don't have the commitment from followers, from listeners to know that you're gonna be here, then it's going to determine how much I can really honestly put into it because, I work like everybody else. You know what I mean? Anyhow, getting back to it now. So, as I said, just three simple ideas. This is what I came up with. First, substance. Second, compatibility. And third, vision. Okay. Today, I want to walk through each one and explain why I think all three matter. If you're trying to decide whether someone is truly worth building a life with, you know, and understand this is not only for people who are ready to get married tomorrow. This is also for anyone dating, and possibly wasting your time with someone. Anyone recovering from a relationship that confused them. Anyone wondering why they keep choosing the wrong person or the wrong people. And anyone trying to understand why something that felt so strong still didn't become something that was actually lasting. And I think this will probably help you shoot somebody some bail, as they would say, when you realize that you were not chosen by someone that you thought would have and should have, you thought should have chose you. Because when we're weighing these three broad categories, you'll understand, I think. Okay, so let me go over substance first. Let's start with substance, yeah. Because if you get this part wrong, nothing else really matters. When I say substance, right, I'm not talking about how attractive someone is. I'm not talking about their job. I'm not talking about their income, their car, or how many people follow them online. I'm talking about who they are when nobody's watching. Are they honest? Can you trust them? Do they keep their word? Do they take responsibility? when they're wrong? Are they kind? Are they emotionally stable? Do they care about people other than themselves? Can they be counted on when life gets difficult? To me, those are substance. Those are qualities that make someone worthy of serious consideration in the first place. Now, your list might not be identical to mine, right? Some of you will put faith near the top, some will place tremendous importance on loyalty, others will say emotional maturity, others will, value generosity. If you were walking downtown in the big city and somebody asked you for some change, would you step over them or would you reach in your pocket and pull out a 20? And that might be good and that might be bad for some, right? I know people who would never give a dime to someone who was begging on the street. And then I know some who try not to go down those streets because they know that they would end up penniless when they got home, maybe shoeless, right? The exact list may vary from person to person. Obviously, it will. But everyone has a list, whether they've written it down or not. Here's the problem, though. Many people never actually consciously create that list. Instead, they start dating first and evaluate later. Now, maybe that's because they don't have that many opportunities, or maybe because they have too many opportunities. You understand how this goes, right? And to tell you the truth, to start dating first, honestly, that's backwards. Because if you don't know your non negotiables before emotions become involved, you'll probably start negotiating things you once said you would never negotiate. You'll excuse behaviors because they're attractive. You'll ignore dishonesty because the chemistry is incredible and they have a lot of money. You'll overlook selfishness because they're exciting. You'll convince yourself that things will change after marriage. Yeah, right. Well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But that's not a decision I'd want to build my future on. Before you ask whether someone is right for you, right? Ask yourself something even more important. Would this person be considered a person of substance even if you weren't attracted to them? If the answer is no, then I don't think compatibility can rescue the relationship because compatibility doesn't create character. It only reveals how two people experience one another. Substance is the foundation. Without it, you're trying to build a house on sand. And no amount of chemistry can replace character once real life begins. I mean, honestly, just for instance, something that I would consider is like if I got sick, if I could no longer perform, if I could no longer change myself, if I could no longer talk, would this person care for me or would they find a home for me? And the joke is, you might be on the side of, I would rather them just find a home for me. And you might be on the side of, I would expect this person to care for me. I would hope they would care for me, right? People get sick all the time. It's not only because they're 87, right? People get into car crashes, plane crashes. Well, you get the idea. I probably plane crashed a little bit far, but you know what I mean. Next, compatibility. Now, After substance comes compatibility. And this is where a lot of people get confused. I'm just saying a lot of people because I got a little bit confused for a second. I know it might sound dumb, but it is what it is. Just be happy I'm making this for you. Okay. And this is where a lot of people get confused, as I was saying, because someone can be a good person, right? And still not be right for you. They can be honest, they can be kind, they can be responsible, they can come from a good family, they can believe the right things. Kanye good, Kanye bad, Jew good, Muslim bad, Muslim good, Jew bad. Like, yeah, they can believe the right things or the wrong things. Who knows, but they can have strong values and still something about the two of you may just not fit. That doesn't make them bad. It just means the relationship may not have the right shape for life or for the life you're trying to build. Compatibility is about fit. Can you talk to each other? Do you have the same aptitude? Do you have the same sense of humor? Can they laugh at your jokes? Can they laugh at themselves? Can you talk together? Can you laugh together? These are actual things. Can you sit in silence without feeling awkward? Can you disagree without destroying each other? Arguing just because you disagree? Can you solve problems together? Do you enjoy some of the same things? Do you have similar pace of life? Do you communicate in ways the other person can actually understand? Is there attraction? Is there enough affection? Is there enough emotional and physical connection to keep the relationship from becoming friendship with responsibilities, roommates? These things matter. And I know some people don't like to admit that, really. They want to say, as long as they're a good person, that should be enough. But I don't think that's enough. As a matter of fact, I know it's not enough. A good person may still be difficult for you to live with. A good person may still bore you. A good person may still drain you. A good person may still want a life that doesn't match the life that you actually want. A good person may still be unable to meet you in a conversation, in humor, affection, ambition, faith, lifestyle, or emotional rhythm. That's why compatibility matters. Substance tells you whether someone has the character to be considered. Compatibility tells you whether the two of you can actually function together. And I think many people make mistakes on both sides. Some people choose compatibility without substance. They have chemistry, they have excitement, they have desire, they have long conversations at midnight, they have intensity, but there's no trust, no stability, no honesty, and no peace. And that becomes dangerous. You see, other people choose substance without compatibility. They say, this person is good, so I should want them. But wanting someone only because they are good is not the same as being able to build a joyful life with them. You still need connection. You still need attraction. You still need conversation. You still need a sense that life with this person would not only be responsible, but also actually livable. Because a life partner is not just someone you admire from a distance. This is someone you have to wake up beside and look at their face and see their morning face and smell their morning breath. For real. Oven, anybody? Just saying. Someone can, sorry, someone, sorry, someone you have to make decisions with, someone you have to sit across from at dinner, someone you have to face bills with, family with, sickness with, boredom with, change with, and ordinary days with. So the question is not simply, are they a good person? The question is also, do we actually fit together? Sometimes size matters. What do I mean? What don't I mean? Because substance makes someone worthy, right? But compatibility helps determine whether a life together would actually work. Next, vision. That's right, vision. You're like, huh? Do I care if they're nearsighted or farsighted? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Vision is next. And I think this might be the part people miss the most. Because you can meet someone with substance, right? You can have compatibility. You can enjoy each other. You can laugh together. You can be attracted to each other. you can even you can even love each other. But still, when you look down the road, you may not be able to see a life together, a life that matters. Vision is the question of the future. Not just, do I like this person right now, but can I actually see myself building a life with this person? Can I see us 5 years from now together? Can I see us 20 years from now together? Can I see us when life is not exciting together? Can I see us when money is tight? Can I see us when someone is sick? Can I see us when beauty changes? Can I see us when responsibilities become heavy? Can I see us caring for each other when things go left? Because life is not only romance. Life has bills. Life is family. Life is work. Life is grief. Life is illness. Life is disappointment. Life is tired evenings with headaches, of course. Life is hard conversations and periods and menopause and crabbiness and midlife crises. Life is forgiveness. Life is sacrifice. Life is waking up beside the same person when the excitement has quieted down and asking yourself, do I still respect this person? That is vision. And I think this is where many people get stuck. They can picture the date, right? They can picture the attraction. They can picture the wedding. They can picture the photos. They can picture karaoke night at their favorite bar together, or at a baseball game, or at a soccer game, or at a kids' game, or parent teacher night. maybe. They can picture the attention, but they can't picture the life. And those things are not the same. A wedding day, a wedding is a day. A life is decades. So when you're asking whether someone is life partner material, you have to ask more than whether you enjoy them. You have to ask whether your future makes sense with them in it. Would they help build the kind of life you believe you're called to live? Would they make life healthier for you? Would they protect it? Would they respect it? Would they grow with it? Or would you constantly have to shrink, bend, explain, excuse, negotiate your values just to keep the relationship alive? This is where vision becomes actually very serious because love can pull you towards someone, right? Attraction can pull you towards someone. Loneliness can pull you towards someone, sometimes anyone. Chemistry can pull you towards someone. But vision asks, where is this actually going? And if the answer is nowhere, then you have to be honest with yourself because not everyone can enjoy, well, not everyone you enjoy is someone you should actually build with. Not everyone you love is someone you should actually attach yourself to in the future. Not everybody you love is going to attach themselves to you in the future. Some people are just using you for a time. Sometimes you're just a bridge to the next person and you don't even know it. And not everyone who makes you feel something is someone who can walk with you through everything. When one piece is missing, this is where I think a lot of people get into trouble. You see, they have one or two pieces, so they convince themselves they have the whole thing. They meet someone with compatibility but no substance. The person is exciting, the conversation is good, the attraction is strong, the chemistry is real. They feel alive around them, but the person lies. They disappear. They avoid responsibility. They create confusion. They make promises they don't keep. And because the connection feels so strong, the person keeps trying to make excuses for the lack of character in that person. And that's dangerous because compatibility without substance can feel amazing in the beginning, but it usually becomes painful, very, very painful over time. Then you have the opposite problem. Someone has substance, but there's no compatibility. They're honest, they're kind, they're dependable. They would probably make a good spouse for somebody, but you don't enjoy being with them. You don't even like talking to them. You don't connect in conversations. There is no real attraction. There is no shared humor. There is no spark. There is no ease. So you try to talk yourself into wanting them because they are a good person. But goodness alone does not always create partnership. You can respect someone and still not be able to build a life with them. And then there's the third person or the third problem. Someone has substance and compatibility, but there's no shared vision. This one may be the hardest to actually understand because nothing seems obviously wrong with this person. The person is good, you connect well, you enjoy each other. There may even be love. But when you look ahead, something does not line up. Maybe you want children and they don't. Maybe your faith matters deeply to you and they don't share the same direction. Maybe you want peace and they want constant movement. Maybe you want stability and they want pure freedom. Maybe you want to build in one place and they want to live everywhere. Maybe you want a private life and they want to be in the public. Maybe the life they are building simply does not make room for the life you believe you're called to live. Maybe they want to post half naked pictures on Instagram and you're not down with that. Maybe they look at people on the streets of the opposite sex to check them out and you're not cool with that. That does that doesn't always mean someone is wrong, right? It may simply mean the future does not fit. And I think that is one of the hardest truths in relationships. Sometimes it is not about whether someone is good enough. Sometimes it's not about whether the love is real. Sometimes it is about whether the chemistry was there, or sometimes it's not about whether the chemistry was there. Sometimes the real issue is this: can we actually build the same life? Because if the answer is no, then the relationship may have meaning, right? But it may not have direction. And a relationship without direction can keep people emotionally attached for years while never actually moving towards anything solid together. Yeah, you might have bought a house together, but you can always tell, and a lot of times your kids can tell there's something missing. How to actually use this thing. Now, I don't want you to hear all of this and as some kind of relationship test because I could have just developed one after I finished doing the research. And yeah, I actually did research, surprise, surprise, some soul searching as well. This is not about scoring somebody out of 10. This is not about creating a perfect checklist and then walking around with a clipboard judging everyone you meet. That's not real life. People are people. So why should it be? I hear that in my head song. Anyway, everybody has flaws. Everybody has habits. Everybody has areas where they're still growing. Everybody has something that someone else will have to be patient with. So the question isn't, is the person perfect? The question is, do I understand what I am actually choosing? Because a lot of people don't. They choose attraction, then act surprised when the person has no character. They choose money and then act surprised when there is no emotional connection and there's no time for the relationship. They choose beauty and then act surprised when they have no peace. They choose excitement and then act surprised when there's no stability. They choose someone because they are lonely and then act surprised when the relationship can't carry the weight of their life. That is why this matters. Before you attach your future to someone, right? You have to slow down enough to ask better questions. Not just, do I like them? Not just, do they like me? Not just, are we attracted to each other? Those questions matter, right? But they're not enough. You have to ask, is there substance here? Are they honest? Are they trustworthy? Are they responsible? Are they kind? Are they faithful? Are they emotionally mature enough to build something real? Then you have to ask, is this is there compatibility, real compatibility here? Do we communicate well? Do we enjoy each other? Do we enjoy each other when there's nothing to say? Or is there always something that you can say, but we don't have to? Can we solve problems together? Can we laugh? Can we just simply talk? Tevin Campbell. Can we live in the same rhythm? Can we share space without constantly fighting for air? Then you have to ask, is there a vision here? Can I see us building a life? Can I see us growing old together? Can I see us dealing with pain, grief, sickness, change, money, family, disappointment, and responsibility? Can I see myself respecting this person after the excitement cools down? Can I see them caring for me if something goes wrong? Can I see myself caring for them if something goes left with them? That's where the real questions live. Because you're not just choosing someone to date, right? You're not just choosing someone to take pictures with. You're not just choosing someone to text at night. Sorry, drinking coffee at the same time. You're not just choosing someone to make you feel wanted for a season. If you are serious, you are choosing someone who may become a part of your daily life, your private life, your future life, your family life, your spiritual life. And that is not small. And I think part of the problem today is that people are dating in a world that makes everything feel casual, but their hearts are still paying serious prices. And many of us are ending up damaged and moving on to the next person and bringing that damage with us. People say they are just seeing where it goes. What is that? But then they give their time, some give their body, they give their emotions, they give their loyalty, they give their hopes, they give years. And then they realize they never actually asked where it was going in real time. That is why I keep coming back to the same idea. You have to know what you are looking for, not in some shallow way, not just a list of height, income, body type, beauty, and lifestyle. Those things matter, right? They matter to different people in different ways. But beneath all of that, you have to know what actually matters to life that you're actually going to build, or actually that you're trying to build. Because some people can live with certain things that other people's can't. Other people can't, right? Some people do not care about religion. Some people care deeply about religion. Some people care about education. Some people care about ambition. Some people care about physical attraction. Some people care about their peace. Some people care about humor. Some people care about money. Some people care about family. Some people care about being able to talk for hours. Some people care about children and having them. Some people don't, right? Some people care about privacy. Some people care about public success. What car you drive, what shoes you have, what's on the tag of your shirt or the crest of your shirt. So the question is not whether everyone should want the exact same thing. The question is, Have you been honest about what you need? And that's how you see that this is way deeper than the usual question. Because if you're not honest about what you need, you may spend years blaming someone for not being something you never really actually clearly decided you needed in the first place. And they didn't know. It's something that you have to do. You have to figure that out. What do you need and what can you live with and what can't you live with and what can you live without? And it's not fair to them to just, all of a sudden you're upset with them and they don't even know why properly. It's not because they didn't take the garbage out, put the cap on the on the toothpaste or put the toilet seat down. It's not fair to either of you. Some people are not bad people. They're just not built for the life that you are trying to live. Some people are not wrong. They're just wrong for your future. Some people are not lacking value. They simply don't match the substance, compatibility, and the vision needed for the relationship to become a lasting thing with you. That is why this conversation is not about judging people as worthy and unworthy and flags of yellow and green and red. It's about learning how to choose with your eyes open. Because if you don't choose with your eyes open, right, your emotions will choose for you. Your loneliness will choose for you. Your attraction will choose for you. Your fear will choose for you. Your age will choose for you. Your wallet or purse will choose for you. Your family pressure will choose for you. Your past pain will choose for you. And later, you may wake up inside a life that you never actually chose on purpose. So let me bring it back to the question. What are you really looking for in a life partner? It's not a small question and it's not a casual question. That is not something you should only think about after you have already attached yourself to someone. Because by then, your emotions may already be negotiating against your wisdom. And you might actually want to let go of that person, but too bad your emotions are already tied up with them. So even when you try to move on with someone else, you can't. And then you call yourself broken or damaged. I think many people spend years asking the wrong questions. They ask, do they like me? Do they want me? Are they attracted to me? Are they going to choose me? And I understand those questions, y'all. We all do, I think, to some level or another. Everybody wants to be chosen. Everybody wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to believe they matter to someone. But before you get lost in whether someone chooses you, you need to ask whether you have chosen clearly. Have you chosen what actually matters? Have you chosen what you value? I mean, let's just say you're choosing a guy because he makes $200,000, forgetting that you in 6 years are going to be making that money too. And then you find out that you really don't actually need this particular person in your life. Let's just say, right? Have you chosen what kind of life you are trying to build? Have you chosen what kind of person can walk with you through life? Because if you have never answered those questions, right, then you have not been looking for a life partner. You may just be looking for a feeling. And feelings are powerful. Feelings can be beautiful. Feelings can point you towards something so real. But feelings alone cannot tell you whether someone has character. Feelings alone cannot tell you whether you are compatible. Feelings alone cannot tell you whether your future lines up. That takes honesty. That takes reflection. that takes maturity, that takes the courage to admit that someone can be attractive and still not be right for you. Someone can be exciting and still not be stable. Someone can be kind and still not be compatible. Someone can love you and still not be able to build a life with you. Someone can make you feel something amazing, and still not be someone you could actually attach your future to. That is the part people don't always want to hear or think about. But I think it's honestly necessary. And if you trust me at all, trust me on this. Because choosing a life partner is not just about who makes your heart move or makes something else move. It's about who can help you build a life that can stand. So before you ask whether someone is the one, ask yourself whether you even know what the one is. Before you ask whether someone is worth building with, ask yourself what building actually means to you. Before you give someone years of your life, ask yourself whether there is substance, compatibility, and vision. Because you can't choose the right life partner if you have never decided what you're actually looking for. Anyhow, y'all, I'm MCM, and this episode again is 356. You might want to check it out, or might want to recommend it to a friend. Anyways, until next time, okay? Take care.
Hey, come check out You Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 ducks. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.